Hi, and welcome back to Snark and Spark. My name is Emily, and this is my channel, and today I have a special guest. This is my son. What's your name?
Caden.
This is my son, Caden. He is going to be my helper today. I am back. I took a week and a half, 2 weeks off, just to really focus on my health and well-being. I talked about it last time. I was just really sad for a little bit, and so I decided to just focus on my family and hanging out with this guy and my husband and taking care of myself. Lots of headaches and just wasn't feeling good, but I am feeling much better, much better, and I am very happy to have this guy helping out today. So yeah, we're going to talk about cross-stitching, of course, and then we're going to talk about the monthlies going on in our different events. He's going to help me out with a couple of stuff, and yeah, so let's dive in. Let's start with magical stitches. Yeah? Okay. So in magical stitches, it is the start of a brand new month. Oh my goodness. And with that means we've got kind of a fresh slate going on. We've got some new challenges. We're still in our teens, and I'm excited. So for the stitching extra credit for March, we are still doing the Stitchy Battle. We are still trying to earn weapons and defeat monsters. I don't have that pulled up. Let me pull that up real quick. I believe I have not written it down yet.
You haven't written it down?
I did write it down. Look at me. I wrote it down in my planner. Here, you can hold the planner. Ta-da! So I have on my monthly page. Ooh, it's not focusing. Goodness, it's not focusing. That's okay. For once, I actually wrote nicely. My handwriting's nice. So for Magical Stitches, we have the monthly stitching battle, and we are fighting sirens this time, a hydra, and a cyclops. And just like before, we have the stitch counts. So if you defeat a siren, it's 500 stitches. To defeat a hydra, it's 1,000, and to defeat a cyclops, it is 1,500. But we have a bonus challenge as well for this month, where for one time only, we are specifically attacking. I want to try and have him say this name.
Polyphemus?
Very close. Polyphemus the Cyclops. He is a one-time only. It takes 2,000 stitches to fight him. And if you do, then you fight him, and I think we get something special. I just don't remember what that is. But there's that. Then, of course, we have this week's homework. Yes. So this week is, what's it say?
Demigod B2 Task 1 Family.
Right. So we are Team Demigods, and we are on book 2. This is the first task, and it is called Family, and it is all about Percy's family and what's going on there. So welcome to March, campers. We'll cover that in a little bit. What a wild couple of weeks we've just had. So much for the gods not meddling in human affairs. I know many of you will be upset and concerned about our apparent betrayal by a certain someone. I don't want to say the name in case you haven't read it, because I don't like spoilers. But those of you who have read it know who I'm talking about, and we're just heartbroken over this betrayal. Make your sad face.
I'm going like a happy sad.
We are working with Mr. D and Chiron to batten down the hatches, so to speak, and to increase the security in our camp. While some campers have already defected to this particular person's company, we at camp implore you not to be seduced by anything he or his spies may say. So our activities this week are focused around our new camper, Tyson, who was brought here by our very own Percy Jackson. Yes, we know he's a Cyclops. Yes, we are battling a Cyclops. Let's not get into the specifics. We're also...
Don't you have to kill the Cyclops, that's all? I thought you had to kill the Cyclops.
Well, we're fighting them with our stitches.
How do stitches do damage?
It's complicated. It's just the rules of our group, buddy. But we also know that technically he is Percy's half-brother because Poseidon is his father. And yeah, he gets around. So we're asking you to treat him with respect and patience as he settles into camp. As always, make sure you include a starting and stopping photo for your homework and a cover photo of your piece so that you need to show an example of what it looks like completely stitched, like a model of it. That way we can see that what you're saying is in the whip is in the whip.
And also that it's true.
Yes, we want to make sure that it's true. Good.
Or then they're cheating.
We don't want that, do we? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, this week we just have two tasks, and each one is
500 stitches.
We have to do 500 stitches. So the first one is that Tyson joined Percy's school in disguise. You want to read this? So we have to
stitch on something you could wear as a disguise.
So let's talk about that. What is something you could wear as a disguise?
Dress yourself as an animal, like a pet.
That's smart. So maybe if they are stitching something with an animal, there are costumes of animals. I have my dragonfly. What if I said I wanted to dress up as a dragonfly? I'm an insect.
Or an ant, so you can just crawl through the tiny spaces.
Good. So think that. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a fancy lady or a human or a person in clothing. I feel that he had a really good idea, actually, of an animal. You can wear a costume. So don't overthink it. Number 2, Tyson is Percy's half-brother. So we need to
stitch on something that you're stitching for a family member, or stitch on something that reminds you of your family and tell us how or why.
What am I stitching on that's for a family member?
The dragonfly?
Not the dragonfly.
I can't remember.
That's okay. The big Harry Potter piece.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's for who?
Miss Janelle?
Not Miss Janelle.
Amy?
No.
Who is it for?
Your cousin.
Isaac!
No, your new baby cousin.
I was like, Isaac?
He's so silly. He knows who it's for. So yeah, I've mentioned it countless times. I am working on the Stitch Your Own Adventure Letters to Hogwarts as a piece for my new niece's nursery, and so I mean that is right there. I'm physically that is for someone in my family. But you could have something that just reminds you of your family. I don't know if I have any pieces that remind me of you necessarily, but I'm sure I have pictures of you. But
one reminder's things, pictures.
It could easily be if you watch a particular show or movie or something with your family and you have that kind of... You having some issues, bud?
Yeah.
Okay. Think that if you guys... Like, I chose this Harry Potter project because my sister and I both really enjoy Harry Potter. It was something we shared and bonded over, and her baby's nursery is Harry Potter themed. So even if she didn't necessarily have this, even if she didn't have her baby, I was still planning on making her one anyways, and it was going to, that way we were going to have matching ones no matter what, or similar ones no matter what. So it just has to be something you can relate to a family member in some way, which is great. Before we move on from Magical Stitches, let's talk about the monthly reading challenge.
Ooh.
There is a monthly reading challenge. Stitching battle. Here we are. So we have the reading challenge. As you know, we've got the required book for this month is Percy Jackson. It is the second book, which is Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Sea of Monsters. It's a lot of words. The Sea of Monsters. I have that. It is sitting on my bookshelf in the other room. I have not started it yet. The other choices, we actually have 5 categories to choose from this month. Again, Vicky picks these random numbers off of that master list that she created for the yearly reading challenge, and these all feed into it. So anything you read goes into the yearly challenge, and it's great. And I'm going to give examples of how just because I've made it work into a category here doesn't mean that's what I'm using it for on my year-long challenge. So let's give some examples and stuff. First and foremost, I'm going to have him tell us what our genres are this month. Again, there are 5, so a total of 6 books minimum this month, of including the focus book, which is Percy Jackson, to The Sea of Monsters. So we have
18 is horror.
You don't have to read the numbers, just the words. So a horror novel.
Number 6 is a standalone novel. And 16 is
Manga.
24 is science fiction. And 11 is male authors.
Okay.
There's a lot of male authors.
There are a lot of male authors. So 5 categories. Pick a book from each of those categories and make it work. And we are also giving bonus stitches for books based off of their length. Obviously, with a bunch of us being fanatics about reading, and Vicky is a teacher, we are trying to encourage you to read more. So the longer the book is, the more bonuses you receive. So if it is a short book, again, these all have to be a minimum of 100 pages, but if it is anywhere from 100 to 300 pages, or 6 hours, you're gonna make me yawn, 6 hours or less of an audiobook, you get a bonus of 300 stitches. Medium is anywhere from 301 pages to 600 pages, or 6 to 10 hours of an audiobook, you get an extra 1,000 stitches. And if it's considered long, which would be 600 plus pages or 10 plus hours of an audiobook, you earn 1,500 bonus stitches. Now, I tend to listen to long audiobooks. I really enjoy them. Most of the audiobooks I listen to are anywhere from 10 to 12 hours. And so, ta-da, I earn those. I get those long bonuses. I get those 1,500 bonus stitches because I like those long audiobooks. But it helps because I listen to them at work. And when my work shift is a minimum of 5 hours, that will last me a couple shifts, and then I listen to a different one. So there are ways that it works for me. But I want to explain how I am kind of interpreting this. So, for example, the standalone novel. I am choosing to read 21 Truths About Love by Matthew Dix. I started it today. I'm already like 50-something pages into it. It is absolutely hysterical, but I have, if you want, you can go get it.
Where is it?
It's on the table. It is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I was chuckling under my breath during my break at work, and but it also is very expertly written.
54 pages.
Thank you, darling.
53. 54.
So this is the book, 21 Truths About Love. So far, it is fantastic. I'm a huge fan of books that are written in non-traditional formats. This is written all in list forms. He makes lists. And so there's not like necessarily dialogue, but he writes lists of everything, and they are so funny. But I can tell because certain heavy topics have already been hit on. I have a feeling this book is also going to make me sad, or it's gonna get me in some way. It's gonna get those emotions somehow. But so that's one book. Now I am listing that here as a standalone novel to make it fit for this month's reading prompts. But in my year-long challenge, I am using it as a book with numbers in the title because I've already read several books this year already with numbers in the title. This one has the number 21 in it. And so I can make it work. I'm making it work for this month, but in the overall, I fit it into a category that I'm already aiming for.
Me too. I've read books with numbers on them.
Good job. And so that's important. For horror, I plan on listening to The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. It is considered a gothic horror novella, and it is like 100 and something pages. So that one's short, but it still counts. I have not yet decided what I'm going to do for manga. I am leaning towards Death Note or
Disney. I feel like that should be for horror.
I know, right? It is a scary book.
The zombie book?
No, My Hero Academia. I don't want to say it wrong. I know I've also heard of Fruits Basket. I've heard of several, and I've been given recommendations. I just haven't actually picked one yet because it's not my normal. I don't normally read manga, and in fact, I've never read a manga before. For science fiction, I want to read The House on the Cerulean Sea. I've been told it's gay science fiction, and I am very intrigued by that. So, I'm excited. But, and so even though that's considered a science fiction here, I will count that in my books with colors in the title because it has cerulean in the name. Anyways, and then last but not least, male authors.
I have
pick.
a lot.
Yep, they're everywhere, so just grab one.
My favorite is Dr. Seuss.
That's
Makes
excellent.
funny books.
That is an excellent example of a male author. Thank you.
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. Should we talk about semi-sane? Okay, we'll talk about semi-sane. I was going to give him a few other options, but we are going to semi-sane, and that's perfectly fine. We could do semi-sane, daily 30, or whip go. Semi-sane. So in semi-sane stitchers, here we are, blah, 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 blah. There are multiple events going on in semi-sane. These are the ones I am focusing on.
March Focus, Monster Stitch.
Nope.
What?
Master
Stitch. Sorry. I always get A's mixed up with O's. And
Whip.
Whip Days. It looks like WIP.
Well, it is WIP, and it is
Whip.
a whip. You're thinking of the other one that is WHIP. Yes. There are multiple other events going on, and I will touch on them briefly, but I wanted to just... there's four. There's four right now. I'm sure others will pop up. So really the only one I'm not interested in is the scavenger hunt. I completely lost track of it for February. Admittedly, February was a weird month for me, but I'll kind of just decide what I did with February, where I will take a look. I will see what I see, but I'm not going to strain myself if I do or don't find anything. And if the prompt gets released and it's something I feel that I can achieve, sure, why not? The March Focus Challenge, again, focusing on one particular whip and posting photos for every 1,000 stitches you put on it. No surprise there. I will again be doing letters from Hogwarts. Mm-hmm. For whip days, I'm going to have him read them off, but this is the non-counting one where they pick different holidays or themes for the month, and based off that holiday, they give you a task for something to stitch on. So, starting with March 1st.
Women's History Month.
So the entire month of March is Women's History Month, and so you're supposed to stitch on a whip with a pretty lady. That's self-explanatory. So anything with a lady on it will work.
Like the fairy?
She was a lady. March 10th is
Mario Day!
So we stitch on a whip that has something to do with a video game.
Mario!
So we could do Mario if you have Mario. I do know there are a lot of Mario pieces. There are a lot of Zelda pieces.
I love Zelda.
There's a lot you can do for video games.
Plants vs. Zombies?
Plants vs. Zombies, yes. All kinds of stuff. March 17th is
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. So work with some green thread or a pattern that is Irish or Celtic.
I've been working with green thread.
So that would work for you. So just work. Okay.
Right under here.
So work with green thread, which is pretty. If you have something that has green, just take photos of the green spots while you're working on it. Or, if you have anything that is themed, Irish themed, like the Irish flag or any Celtic knots, or, yes, this is
rainbow.
His current piece. He is working on a rainbow. It is coming along nicely.
And I'm on my green.
You are on your green.
I feel like I want to cross stitch now that I got it.
Go ahead. You've got it out. You can stitch while we're sitting here. So, and then finally, Do you want to read the last one? March 22nd.
World Water Day.
So we're going to work on a whip with water in it. That's a lot of W's. Work on a whip with water in it?
Yes.
So, self-explanatory there. Think oceans, think lakes, ponds, seas, anything like that. It is very specific. It does say water, rivers. It says water, not liquid. So pay attention to that.
Water is a liquid.
I am going to try and do these. Nothing is really sticking out to me right now. I don't have a pretty lady that is currently in my rotation.
Except for the fairy.
She's done. I don't have anything that's video game themed right now. I do have some stuff that has green thread. I'm just not there yet. I'm not on that.
The fairy had green thread.
The fairy is done though. She's no longer a whip. I'm talking about things I could actually work on. And I don't have anything with water that comes to mind, but we'll see. So I have it written down just to kind of keep in the back of my head, but nothing that I'm really going to like force myself to work on. So that was whip days. Then let's talk about Master Stitch. I really think this is a really cool idea. I love these kinds of puzzles in real life. I love doing them. I am a puzzle fiend. I really, really enjoy puzzles. So this is going to be, you can do a non-counting version if you want, but you could also do a counting version. So we have 3 different versions. So they are going to randomize codes for us. And if you've ever played like in the original version of this game, basically there are 4. Okay, in the example they did 4, so I'm going to assume it's 4. What it is basically there's a combination and you are trying to figure it out. Instead of 4 numbers to crack, you're trying to guess 4 colors. And they will give you hints based on how many you've gotten right. So say I've got a random color combination, and so I guess blue, red, white, black. And then they go through and they look at it and they'll go, 1 hit, 2 blows. And what that means is I have 2 colors right. Those are the.
I did it.
Good job.
Now what do we do?
Pull the needle all the way through.
I did it.
Yeah, then you would cut it.
Okay.
Not right now. Not right now.
Okay.
Just be patient. So that would mean, okay, so 1 hit, 2 blows. The 2 blows means that I guessed 2 colors correctly and
2 colors wrong.
2 colors wrong. But then of those 2 that I guessed correctly, 1 of them was in the right spot. Mm-hmm. So it's basically, okay, based off that, is it this, is it this, is it this? And you just keep messing them, pulling them around and moving them around until you figure out the code. Like I said, I love these kind of games. I thrive on these.
I could go make a code and you try to guess, for example.
No. We're good. I love these kinds of games. I play them all the time. Maybe we can play one later. And they have said they are not repeating colors, so you won't have something where it's like blue, blue, red, white. Like they won't do that. It'll be 4 different colors. So if you want to make a guess, they've given us, they are grouping colors together. So we have like blacks and grays, white, reds and pinks, blues and greens, brown, and then other. And they've said that other is any color not listed here, whether that is orange, purple, yellow, variegated, metallic.
Teal.
It doesn't have to be consistent, yes. When you guess, you could use, you could be doing a metallic on one whip and then purple on a second one. You would just have to say other. So you would make your guess. You don't have to use the same color in each one. You just have to make sure that you are doing that color family. So
unless if it's just one color for the whole code,
but they won't do that. They're not going to do it all as one color.
Because then it would be too easy. Just guess one color and you're right.
Right. So if you're counting, the first one you would do is figure out what colors you want to pick of the 4 colors, And then you just do 100 stitches in that color and you post photos of it. So you would say, because I'm currently working on Praise Him with Strings, and I'm in the yellow. So I would say other, and then I have like a brown, and then so then I'm like, okay, so other, and then I'll do 100 stitches in brown. But I still need 2 other colors, but those are the only 2 colors on that whip. So then I pull out my Harry Potter piece, and I am currently working on the gray. So then I would say gray, put 100 stitches in, take a photo, and so on and so forth. And so you just do that. Make sure you post your photos in the order that you are guessing. And then once you've done your 100 stitches, so it would be 400 stitches in different colors, you make a post that says, please check me. They check you. They will only check once a day, so I wouldn't say anything until you've got like a full code. And there's that. I'm sorry if that seems a little wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey all over the place. I'm distracted. But that's the basic one. You'll earn 2 entries for every full code you crack. If you are doing the other counting version, which is considered the extreme version, it's the same exact thing, only instead of 100 stitches for one color, it'd be 300 stitches for one color. So this would be really helpful if you are doing if you are working on a piece that uses a lot of the same colors in like a section and you're not wanting to switch. So if you have a whole section of blues and you don't want to switch color, go for it. Or you could see, if I do, it'll get me like 300 stitches and then I'll get to another color. Then do that. You don't have to stop every 100. You can do the 300. You do get a higher, so you would earn 5.
I'm going to go let the dogs out.
Thank you. You get 5 entries for every code you crack doing it that way. This is also really helpful if you're someone who stitches quite a bit in a day. Since they are only checking once a day, if you get lots and lots of stitches in, you're going to want them to check your stuff. So pros and cons. So weigh your options. Do you have pieces that lean better to a lot of color changes, or do you have pieces where you just crank them out, and so it'd be better for you just to do with a higher stitch count because you stitch faster or you stitch more? The non-counting version is where you can still play, but basically you stitch a color, you pick your colors, you do a block of stitches. You don't have to count them, but it has to be visible progress. You have to see that you've put stitches in. You can't just do 1 or 2 stitches and be like, I stitched green. Doesn't count. You have to be able to show progress.
No, I stitched red.
Right. You may use one project if you are a monogamous stitcher. You might consider the non-counting version to try to prevent running out of certain colors. They've got a ball. It's fine. They use a randomizer, and they can't guarantee we won't get certain colors picked, even though we don't have those. Yeah. So that's Master Stitch. We've done Whip Days and the March Focus. So that is semi-sane. Last we get to talk about is Daily 30. And then we'll talk about Whip Go, and then we'll be done. We're doing really, really well, actually. We're only 30 minutes in, all things considered.
Yeah.
So, in Zombie Run for March, it is just like the Zombie Run in February. We are running around. We are trying to escape. Well, I am Team Zombie.
Team Zombie.
Basically. And so for me, that means I have to stitch 200 stitches, and then I have to stop and rest, take a photo of my 200 stitches, and then I get to do another 200 stitches. And because this is a day that ends in 31 days, we are trying to do 12 miles, which is a lot. And just like in February, you have to touch on each project at least once, and then you can go back and do whatever you want for the rest of your miles. So it's complicated, but fun. I did not get all 10 miles done for February, and that is my fault. I definitely...
How many did you?
I got 9 out of 10.
Okay.
So I was really, really close.
90%, basically.
90%. I was really, really close, and I would have had them completed except for I realized I could not double dip my stitches within the weeklies and the zombie run, and so I had worked on my Hogwarts piece for some weekly challenges and then went, oh, these don't count, and then was playing like catch up at these last like 2 weeks of the month. So that was purely my own fault. I will definitely be focusing on my zombie run pieces like first and foremost at the beginning of the month and going from there. So there's that. Then there is a March event that is going on. Let me pull that up. The March monthly is themed after Cool Whip. So it's the age-old conundrum, is it Cool Whip or leftovers in that bowl in the fridge? Only one way to find out. This month we'll be opening the bowls and working on some of our Cool Whips. Haha, get it? Cool Whip, and the whip as in what we're working on. So each bowl you open will find a goal to complete. Whether it smells sweet or stinky, the bowl has to be dealt with. To open a bowl, you need to do 300 stitches or 3 hours, which will earn us 3 tokens. If you open and complete at least 5 bowl goals, you will receive a bonus of 10 tokens and a 200 stitch discount on our April monthly event to use any way you'd like. I know, it's a lot.
Any way you like.
So, here we go. If you open and complete all 10 bowl goals, you will receive 1 free pass for each of our weekly events with an April start date. When you open a bowl, you have to tell us what we found inside and post a beginning photo with the handwritten key phrase that will be provided on February 28th, which it was. I have to double check the curse of the itchy nose. I have to check in the group again for the word. Post an ending photo, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So try to include as many different whips as you can for this event. You are allowed to work on only one. You are allowed to work on the same whip for more than one bowl if that whip fits, but try and focus on working on as many of your whips as possible to get them closer to a finish. We want this to be a cool whip event. So here we go. I really think it's funny. Here's a list of what's inside the 10 bowls. Open with caution and pick carefully and close the refrigerator door behind you. 1. This bowl has green beans from last night's dinner. Stitch on your newest whip. 2. This bowl has deviled eggs made by your neighbor for your barbecue last weekend. Stitch on a whip that was or is part of a stitch along. 3. This bowl is packed full of mashed potatoes that you swore you'd make into potato cakes. Yeah, that didn't happen. Stitch on the whip you thought you'd be done with by now. 4. This bowl has a thick layer of gray mold on top of whatever is in there. Your guess is as good as mine. Stitch on your oldest whip. 5. This bowl has Cool Whip. Yes! Grab a spoon and stitch on a whip of your choice. 5. This bowl has 1 piece of leftover fudge from Christmas. Still smells good to me. Put stitches into your whip that is nearest completion. 7. This bowl is hard to open. The lid seems stuck. It's probably a good thing, huh? Stitch on a whip you're stuck on. 8. This bowl has 1 big chunk of roast beef inside. Leftover roast beef? How? Stitch on your favorite whip. 9. This is a family-sized Cool Whip bowl, and it's completely full of leftover broccoli and cheddar soup. Old broccoli and cheddar soup. Stitch on your largest whip. 10. This bowl is the gravy that went with those aforementioned mashed potatoes. Stitch on a whip that is part of a series. Have fun and happy stitching. So there's a lot going on there, but I like these just like I really liked the Stitch to Oz event. This is fun. That is the monthly. I think there is another one going on, but I don't have any information, and this being my first time in Daily 30, I know there's something else going on, but I'm not sure what. When I find out, you'll find out. Okay, so this week technically started last Friday. So it is the end of February and it is March, and we are on Emerald Week. The emerald's beautiful green hue is unmatched, making it one of the most sought-after gemstones on the market. Let's mine a few facts about these precious stones this week. Okay. All of them this week are either 100 stitches or an hour, or 200 stitches or 2 hours. The first known emeralds were mined in Egypt around 1500 BC. The oldest emeralds are about 2.97 billion years old. Stitch on a whip with something old depicted in the design. That could be a lot of things, and depending on how old you are, your definition of old may vary. This one, what's something old? An object, not a person.
My teddy bear when I was like 2 or 3. My teddy bear.
For context, he's 8.
Yep.
So his teddy bear when he was 2 or 3.
Yeah, that was like 6 or 5 years ago. I was in months.
So for him, he'd stitch on a teddy bear. Mm-hmm. 2. Emerald is made from the mineral beryl. Beryl, and therefore emeralds, contain the elements beryllium, silicon, aluminum, and oxygen. The color of emeralds ranges from yellowish green to bluish green, with most emeralds having a very very slightly bluish green color. Stitch with emerald green floss. I do think I have emerald green floss. No. Nope. Not funny.
I know.
I might have emerald green floss. I don't know if there's actually a color with emerald green, but I do have things that are bluish green and green, or what I would consider emerald green. 3. Though they are durable stones, emeralds are susceptible to chipping and cracking. This makes emeralds more expensive to set into jewelry due to the risk involved. Put stitches into a whip that has something that could be chipped or cracked in the design. That's anything breakable. 4. The most expensive diamonds are near or absolutely flawless. However, emeralds tend to be prized more for the stone's individual character, which is created by its imperfections. Put stitches into your emerald, a work that you prize because of its imperfections. For me, that would definitely be my Australian dragon piece. I have made mistakes and miscounted on that and have just continued to work on it, but I love it regardless. 5. According to ancient folklore, putting an emerald under your tongue would help you see into the future. Emeralds are also believed to encourage growth, reflection, peace, and balance, and are said to even guard against memory loss. Put stitches into a whip that you can predict will be finished in your very near future, or one that you cannot remember when you started. Oh gosh. That's hard. I honestly can't remember when I started my dragonfly.
Me neither.
I think the rest of them, even if I can't recall off the top of my head, I wrote it down and I've written it and I have where I've written it down, but I don't have any information on my dragonfly. I know I started it 2019, I think. Yeah, even that's like foggy. Whoops. And then last but not least is the non-counting challenge, which is just to stitch for 30 minutes a day, and I am still working on that library of periodic table, or library spelled using the periodic table elements. I am not thrilled with my color conversion, I am not gonna lie, but I've got this far. I have 2 blocks completed and I'm not gonna restart it again, because more than likely I'm gonna finish this, run it through that laminator, and stick it into a book and give it to a patron and call it a day. It's gonna be a pass it on gift. So ta-da! And that is okay. Let's talk about WIPCO, and then I wanted to just touch on a couple things. So this is my planner for March, and pause. Boop. The semi-sane password. Semi-sane is a semi-closed group, so you cannot join, but we are given a password to give to you guys each month. So if you want to join, you pop in, fill in those questions, and you can say that me, Emily from Snark and Spark, referred you, and the password this month is
Choco Flowers.
Choco Flowers. Good job. Also, Daily 30 is a completely closed group, and we are not, I say we as if I'm an admin on this one. I am not an admin on this one. They are not accepting any new members, and also, sadly, at this time, Magical Stitches is a closed group as well, because we are balanced equally amongst our teams, but we will open up again for the summer session. So stay tuned for that. And hopefully if you want to join, then you join and you get put on my team. But so this is my planner. I haven't really started filling out anything for March yet. I will today. All I did was go in and put the little green clover stickers for the dates for St. Patrick's Day. But I did go, this guy and I went and ran errands, and I went to the store and grabbed, yes, I grabbed a Happy Notes, in the mini size. So they had this, and it is actually with sketch paper in it. So it is not lined or dotted or any grid. It's just blank. And I actually really like that. And so I bought this, and I've just pulled out a page or two of it and stuck it into my planner pages, because I have found that, I will show you for February, I write and I take up space.
A lot of space.
And I end up filling up these sidebars, which say tasks and notes, don't forget, and the top 3 this week. I end up filling this out with the prompts that I'm focusing on for the week, but I need to be able to remember more specifically either homework tasks or monthly prompts, or how I'm double dipping my stitches each week. And this is where this can come in. So like I am using what I work on for the daily 30 minutes a day thing, I put into like the extra credit, or like the stitching battle, or building the cabins in Magical Stitches. So, whatever I work on in one group, I'm trying to fit it into another group. Sometimes I forget where I'm putting all of those different stitches in, and I want to be able to keep track of that and like remind myself, hey, remember to post daily 30 progress in Magical Stitches March stitching battle, and just have that there with my planner next to my monthly plans. And if I need to start sticking them into the weeks, I will do that as well. But that's where I am with that. I just wanted to point out that I had bought that. Yes, we see your book. Thank you, hon. Nope, we're done. WIPGO.
WIPGO.
So WIPGO. Don't touch that. For WIPGO, you can pull the papers out now. I've had to do some reconsidering of my WIPGO boards. Not yet. Thank you. Obviously you don't, because you were showing them. So wait. So I have, like I said, I have done some reconsidering on my WIPGO boards and how I want to handle my WIPGO boards, because I think I was overestimating my abilities and underestimating the time I actually have to complete some of these goals. So I'm trying to be a bit more realistic with my plans and with my ideas. So, let's talk about my stitching one, which is the other one. Okay. So, thank you, buddy. I didn't get to color in any boxes in for February. So, February was Australian Dragon and Let's Talk Autumn. Now, originally, I had said that this was going to be finishes, that I would color in the box as I finish things. And now I'm sitting here looking at that going, this is unrealistic. I am not going to finish these. So instead, because I tend to be a bit more of a monogamous stitcher, or at least I have a monogamous rotation, I have like my 4 main whips, and I'm only working on those 4 main whips. So even though I have all of these, I'm only working on those 4 right now. I've now reevaluated, and my goal now is to just at least touch on these. So I do get to cross Australian Dragon off, because I did work on Australian Dragon in February, which is exciting. I did not touch on Read Now. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Did not touch on Let's Talk Autumn. And then she drew 10, which is a year in chalk. I wanted to do a month and Read Now. So I've decided, instead of it trying to be finishing, because that means I basically wouldn't get any bingos until later on in the year, and then that ruined my plan for doing giveaways and stuff. Now it's going to be, if I can at least work on these some throughout the year. It's even better if I can work on it in the month that they were called. Now, for reading, I am happy / sad to report. I only completed the goal of 5 books in a month in February. I did not get 20 hours in a month. I think I got a total of like almost 14 hours, not even close.
Not even close.
Well, close, but not close. Because what I defined as a reading hour was not an hour I spent listening to, not an hour I spent listening to an audiobook, but an hour I spent physically reading, whether that was by myself or with this guy. That's what I counted, is when I was sitting down with a book in my hand, not just listening to it doing something else.
But you were past the half marker on 20 hours.
I was past the halfway.
Yeah, because 10 plus 10 is 20.
So 10 and 24 that got pulled for this month. I have 18 hours in a month. So fingers crossed that goes better this month.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not color this in because I still have not technically achieved this. So now I'm focusing on getting this because that's what's called for in March. So I'm going to focus on getting the 18 hours first, and then later on I will focus on trying to get the 20 hours. And then she drew this one, which a lot of people have expressed interest in, which it says, no TV, only books. So let me explain that. Does that mean I'm going to be sitting and reading all the time? No. I am not going to spend every single minute of my spare time reading, and that does not mean that I'm not going to watch any TV. What I meant when I wrote this, I condensed it for my own, because I know my own shorthand, is if I have spare time, instead of spending that watching Netflix or YouTube or playing games on my phone, I will choose to instead use that time to read. That's like my free time. Now, if we decide it's family movie night, I'm going to sit down and watch a movie with my family.
Mm-hmm.
So I will still watch TV. We will, especially when I'm spending that time with my family, or if I want to watch FlossTube, stuff like that. But if I use the example of, and I did it today, I was waiting in my car to pick him up from school today, and I had about 20 minutes where I was just waiting. Instead of just sitting and playing on my phone or watching a video on my phone in my car, I brought a book and I spent those 20 minutes reading. That's what I want to focus on, is making use of my spare time. So I'm not just wasting my time on a screen. I am reading. So that's Wipco, and that's what I'm doing with Wipco, and that's what I'm trying to focus on. That's pretty much it. I want to wrap it up because we are doing really, really well on time. You've been doing a fantastic job, buddy, and that's about it. I did want to just briefly show I got the March Silk and Sonder planner. I'm actually really excited for this one. I think I said that about February too, but the theme is curiosity, and I love the color green. Orange is my absolute favorite color, but then my next favorite color is green. I love shades of green. I think they are beautiful. It's not really pulling up so well, but the whole thing is actually this pretty pale, almost like lily pad green, mint green. And it's looking up the colors back here. I don't know. I really love it. I'm really excited for it. I flipped through it. But I do want to do a flip through of this. I thought about doing a flip through of my February one, but with everything that was going on, I really figured out I started to really slip and decline when I stopped using my planners. And that was when I really had to step back and take a break. And if I'm being honest with myself, I thrive and I do better with structure and routine, just like this one. He thrives on a routine. He does really, really well when he has a schedule that we stick to. And I learned this about myself as well. So I definitely noticed that when I started to really struggle in February, I stopped using my planners. I quit filling out my February Silk and Sonder, like my daily planner. I stopped using my reading planner. I stopped using my stitchy planner, and it just felt as if everything got away from me and everything slipped away from me. So even though I don't feel that I'm necessarily all that busy necessarily, I don't it's just him, it's just me and my husband. I only work part-time. It's not that we live this incredibly busy life that I need all of these different planners. But I found that it did help me when I did structure my days and when I did have a reason to sit down and use my planner and fill it out. So I am definitely making more of an effort this month and going forward to actually utilize my planners and stick with writing in them and keeping them up to date, because I do so much better when I am organized and have a plan. Oh, sorry about that. But
someone from
yep, I know.
Team.
I will do a flip through of this in a different video shortly. I just wanted to go ahead and show that I had started to fill it out, and I'm pleased with that. And I already done my first spread. And I am actually really pleased. I started doing spreads, I think, in my January one, and then I stuck to them with my February. January, they were chaotic and all over the place, and I was just throwing stickers down wherever I could fit them. And then I kind of started to slow down in February and do more of a theme each week, whether it was because a particular sticker caught my eye and I liked it, so I built around that whole sticker, or because I have a sticker book that I particularly liked and chose from. I will say I get a lot of inspiration from planning with Bumble here on YouTube. We watch her a lot, actually, and we really enjoy her, and I find her so inspiring and calming and satisfying to watch. So
she does a lot of sticker planning.
She does do a lot of sticker planning, and I like the way she does things, and I find her very, very satisfying and inspiring. And so I also have a bunch of Happy Planner sticker books and have just slowly started to utilize them and make them work for me. And like this week, I focused primarily on using the adulting book, the adulting sticker book. And then these sticky notes, actually, the like pinned notes came out of the like memory keeping dates and holidays or something. But I liked them because they were that bright, fun, like rainbow colors that they have in the adulting book. But yes, if you saw, besides the fact that we have a Cairo appointment, on Wednesday the 3rd will be my husband and I's 6th anniversary together. It will be our first wedding anniversary, but it will be our 6th anniversary together. So I have no idea what we're doing yet.
Me neither.
Probably just going to stay at home.
Because of Corona.
And that's okay.
You can't go out in public or we're going to get Corona.
But that's really all I wanted to touch on, was just that I'm here, I'm back. Wanted to give you guys a quick update on homework and let you know that I am doing much better. I am feeling much better. And
talking about
stitching is great, and I'm gonna go do some stitching, and I'm gonna let this little guy play some games
like Lego Racers and Stunt Track Driver. You guys used to try Stunt Track Driver. It's super fun. It's a very old video game, but it's kind of a little hard at the turn because you don't know when to turn and when to not. It's a little hard because it's so glitchy. Because it's been so old, it's glitchy.
Well,
and also you can make your own tracks.
This wraps it up for us. Thank you so much for all the kind words and the support and just hanging in there with me and hanging out with me today and being a part of my community and being just you guys, just being who you guys are.
And with me? With you?
Yes, you. I'm grateful. This little guy came and helped me out today, but I'm back. I'm feeling much better, and just thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I needed a little time off, but thank you. So, happy stitching, happy reading, happy listening, happy watching, happy doing whatever it is that you do that makes you happy, and I will talk to you guys later.
And more videos of stitching every day.
Not every day.
Sometimes every day, but not really.
In the meantime, be easy with your hearts.
Be easy with your hearts. Bye!